Oh, I'll kill it anyway. So, welcome back to NRC Division 2, round 17 of Spain. We are just waiting for the last few to load into the lobby, and then we'll be right away with the race. As it is looking to be a dry first session of qualifying here. All drivers still in the pits for a bit. We will have confirmation of the weather as well shortly, which will be very nice. So we can actually tell what drivers are on what strategy. As first driver out is looking to be AMS Jocelyn. So every driver's probably putting their setups on. He is first driver out of his pit box and onto the circuit, followed by actually most of the other drivers. We are doing well, thank you, Jaffa. I see you've actually changed your Twitch name as well. How many other names are you going to change, Jaffa? How many other names? But at the moment, it is looking just to be a few cars on track. Very bright sunshine here. Well, Jaffa, it says PGR Jaffa. So you can't change it for another 3 weeks. God's sake, Jaffa. You and changing your names. Oh, as we do, almost the first spin there of RS Hawk through this court quickly. As Jocelyn will be the first car to finish, or to even start his lap. As the weather for this race is dry and dry, very lucky for these drivers. As last week around Canada, I believe it was wet qualifying for them. So a lot of them will be happy with it being dry. X-Pilot is just doing an outlap and then he will be coming back into the pits. He has to serve his qualifying ban here after an incident that happened during last week's race. We're on board with Jocelyn as he goes through sector 1, turns 1 and 2, takes it very nicely, no invalidation, tries to keep it close to the inside and not overrun. Very well using up as much of the curb as he can, turns into a nice long right-hander. Very easy to run wide, but he does not. He's taken it into the close left. Very nicely done as well. Is that his yellow flag? I'm going to see that is ROS Hawk, who has lost it on the end of turns 1 and 2, going to turn 3. Who's just been his rear end has stepped out. Jocelyn, as we go on board with Jocelyn, as he does lose it going onto the second DRS straight. Rear end just seems to step. No damage done to the car as it was just a step at the rear end, and BTEX having to dart out the way there and not be collected by Jocelyn. BTEX setting purple sector 2 there as well, doing very well. Screwed on the rear end as he comes up the hill, to the left and right, a bit off the accelerator, trying to turn his car in as best he can, turns it in very well. Through a right-hander, and he will now be going into the final chicane. We'll be able to see what he does here, as the chicane's very hard to get right, as you can invalidate so quickly, as we did see in the Div 1 race yesterday. Multiple drivers spinning and losing time there. Comes through across the final straights, that's 15.7, that is the lap for everyone to be targeted for. Next car to cross will be Jocelyn. Jocelyn sets 29.4, that is due to his spin. He is now in theory starting his second flyer. who else is on a flying lap at the minute? It's about to finish. We just had London finish, put a 16.8 in there. Puts his car into P2. We now have... that's Hawk starting his flyer after he had the spin. That. As yep, London does... London spins as well. Same place Hawk spun. Seems to catch a few drivers out there. I'm trying to see who's ending laps. Cool Ice Cube. Oh no, Kingberger it was. It's like wrong runner. Puts in a 16.7 there. Very good lap from him as well. Another yellow flag, sector 1. That is just Nigel Ater parked up on the side of the road waiting for cars to go past and try to block them. I see a Williams of Liar Racing finishing his lap. He puts into P4 a 17.1 from him there. As there was also the Red Wolf Welsh Deviant putting a 16.7 in as well. Very good lap from him there. Next will be Jocelyn finishing his second flyer. We'll just be able to see as he's 12 seconds up respectively at the minute. Not really surprised he comes across the line. He goes P2 then 15.9. We then have BTX, I believe again, starting his second flyer. He went for flyer, cool down flyer. Ferrari here of Gergo puts his car to P7 there with an 18.1, I believe. Car to follow him there was starting his flyer. Yes, he was. Someone else has just set a lap. That would be... There's another yellow flag, I've just realised. That yellow flag is caused by King Berger deciding to hit the new layout for Spain. Try to figure out who just set a lap then. Oh, Hawk, I think. No? Someone else set a lap, that's all I can say. You see King Berger and Jaffa both there up each other's gearboxes, letting other cars go past. We do actually see Aaron Storm put a 15.7 flat in, putting himself up into the P1 respectively, just a bit quicker than BTX, but BTX is on a lap so far. Next car to cross the line will be the Williams there of Live Racing, who comes into the pits, then followed by the Red Bull, I believe, of Jaffa starting his flying lap. Yes, it is. It is then the Mercedes, I believe, of Arntzen starting a flyer. Yep. Then is Arntzen's teammate of Skeefy and the other Mercedes starting a flyer. We do see, I believe, Deviant come into the pits. Same as Jocelyn. BTX goes even quicker yet again. 4/10 improvement on his time to put himself back up into the P1 position. Very well done from him there. I believe that is... Yeah, that was Rhythm finishing a lap. Hawk also moves up as he went quicker on his lap. So Rhythm's down in P10 with an 18.9. Other cars coming out. We do have Dame Zero about to start a lap in the Haas this week after he made his debut in a different car last week. I can't remember what car he actually made his debut in last week. We have the Red Bull. I believe this is going to be of Jaffa coming through the final chicanes. Oh no, it's actually an AlphaTauri. That AlphaTauri is going to be of ERN Storm up here in P2 at the minute. He comes into the pits, thank you. So does the Williams, who was behind him. We do actually see Kustov go very wide at the exit of the corner, and that is going to cost him. Jaffa comes across the line, goes fast as full with a 15 flat. There you go. Sorry we couldn't be on board with Jaffa at the end of his lap then. Both Mercedes come across. Arntzen puts his car into P6. We'll also see where his teammate is Skeefy. Skeefy goes P2 with a 15.2. Very good laps from the pair of them. Next car to cross the line is going to be BTX. BTX is coming into the pits. Yellow flag sector 1. That's just one of the Mercedes getting out of the way, I believe, of Arntzen, of his teammate. AMS Rhythm now finishing his laps. He goes to the final sector. Doesn't run as wide as other drivers, respectively, but still puts his car P4 with a 15.5. Very good lap from him there. Gergo's going to be next across the line. Gergo had to get the way of a faster car that lap, so he will be starting his second flyer now. Next will be the end of the lap for the Haas of Dame Zero. Dame Zero likely put it for P9 there with a 16.5. Very good lap from there as well. Both McLarens coming through. Both these are on outlaps of Lundalen and Kustov. Ex-pilot still in the pits. As well of the other Ferrari. I got confused then and thought that was Gergo who's still in the pits. But no, Gergo has set a lap. Cool Ice Cube is about to start his lap. I believe that is Hawk coming into the pits. Yes, it is Hawk coming into the pits. Don't know what those yellow flags are caused by. It is Arntzen and Stenbach and just deciding to go side by side with each other. Okay, Jaffa comes into the pits as well, a bit further up. Mercedes of Arntzen, I believe, is coming into the pits as well. No, that's not Arntzen, that's Skeefy coming into the pits. Liar Racing was the Williams he was next to. Liar Racing... No, it wasn't Liar Racing. Liar Racing starting a lap, though. As he comes through at the first few sectors. Doing very well for him there. Not using the curb fully as other drivers would. Coming through a right... or one of the long right-handers of this circuit. So now he comes into a hard right. No, left, sorry, my left and right are confused there. Stenbakken has left the session. I will try and get him back in a second. As he comes up the first hilly bit of the circuit, coming onto the DRS straight, hopefully not running too wide to invalidate his lap. Opens his DRS, as we see he is now just throwing everything. He's not using any ERS. This is an outlap from Liar. Jaffa, laugh at me all you want. Laugh at me all you want. That was an outlap. As Nigelator has rejoined the last session, I need to actually invite Stenbakken back in, so if you give me a second. Recently played with. Stenbakken's joined before I even get sent him an invite. Okay then. There are yellow flags. That is one of the McLarens. That's Kustov. What has happened to Kustov? Kustov's decided to go grass cutting. Of course he has. As Nigelator has left the session again, he will get annoyed with him keep leaving the session. I will invite him back. Sorry that you have to look at the cam of the Williams recently played with. As there we go, there's an invite sent to Nigelator. As there is another yellow flag being caused to Sector 1. Why is there a yellow flag there? I have no clue as the Williams here of Liar Racing finishes his lap. It is an 18.8 respectively, that puts him into P14, a good lap from him then. Deviant starts his lap as well. And I believe this is Stenbakken starting. Oh no, Jordan starting his first flying lap. So at this moment in time, Jaffa is fastest with a 15.0, followed then by Skeefy, BTX, Rhythm, Storm, Gergo, Jocelyn, Arnson, Lunderland, Dame Zero, Kingberger, Hawk, Deviant, Liar and Kustov. The drivers that aren't safe at the minute are Nigelator X-Pilot, who respectively does have a poorly ban, then it is Stenbakken, Jordan and Cool Ice Cube. As we do actually see the McLaren of London come into the pits, after I believe his spin last lap. Stenbakken has rejoined. I think Stenbakken's having some iffy Wi-Fi today. Liar Racing here trying to keep the car safe. What is happening with these yellow flags around Spain? They're just popping up randomly and it's confusing me now. Liar Racing yet again not using as much curb as other drivers would. It improves by a third of a second there, and that does sadly not move him up any positions. He stays down there in 14th, but we will now see if on this lap he can improve because he's not using any ERS. Okay. The Renault next will be Kingberger, who's on an outlap, yep. And we're migrating hosts as NRC Arnson has left the session. I don't know what the issue is with these drivers just leaving. Have I not got a memo about something? Or have they just lagged out and confused? losed. Stem back and rejoined. I believe the lobby is going to stay the same. Sorry about not switching if anyone's view for that part of the time. We're just checking if the lobby is good. I honestly have no clue if the lobby is good. As Ear and Storm here coming through the final chicane. It is actually getting darker over the circuit now. Through that final sector, don't know if we will see some rain later on in the qualifying. Storm comes across the line. He sets a 15-1 respectively there, improves by 5.8 tenths. That'll probably be his qualifying or Q1 session over, as I don't believe anyone else will be able to get ahead of that time. Yellow flags, as that is Skeefy, who has retired in the pit lane. That is due to him believing no one else can catch him. So we are still waiting for Nigelator, and Stemback is finally starting his lap. Kustov there is started his lap as well. Cool Ice keeps on an outlap. Who is on a flyer? Kustov, as Kustov gets really squirrely on the rear end there. He's now going to come through what I believe is turn 4, the long right-hander, or one of the 2 long right-handers of the circuit. Now coming into the sharp downhill left-hander as they go a bit more downhill for this circuit. As he is actually eased off the accelerator a lot. I believe that little snap of oversteer has put him off. First driver to actually start the flight is going to be Dame Zero here, so he'll be the first driver of this lot to be on a flyer. As yes, the leaving and joining was due to Codemaster bugs. Okay, that's nice to know. It's Codemasters. Okay, thank you Jaffa for us saying it's all good. I was just confused people leaving and joining. Dame Zero coming through the long right-hander now, as he comes down the hill into a left-hander, keeping the car very nicely turned in. Careful not to run too wide and invalidate his lap time, as he will be hoping that this lap will put him secure in for the next session. As yes, Jaffa and Skeefy have both retired in the pits due to the fact of they think their laps are good enough to be up there and not be taken down. Dame Zero now coming into the left-hander, so it's purple second sector. I don't know if that is a glitch or not, as we do actually see a yellow flag brought out, I believe, due to Liar Racing there. Liar Racing has had a spin and removed most of his front wing. Very unlucky for him there, as Dame Zero is now coming through into the final chicane part. I don't believe that might be close to the lap then. No, it was Kimberg, okay. As he now comes through the final corners, can he go up higher? He goes into P8, very good lap from him there. That's put him in what he'll believe is a safe, secure spot. He may be able to do a second lap as well. Orc gets a very squirrely rear end then, but keeps the foot down. What can he do with his lap? Opens the rear wing, he puts it up into 13, a 3/10 improvement. He'll be hoping that is enough. At the minute, Liar Racing is the car in risk, or the car with the risk of being... No, it's King Burger with the car at risk. So we have the first of the McLarens here of Kustov coming down through the final chicane. Lovely shot from the helicopter here. Coming through the final corner. Keeps it nicely turned in. Careful not to invalidate on the exit. He puts it in a 17. It's an improvement, but it doesn't seem to be a big enough improvement. Liar Racing can also not improve. What can Cool Ice Cube do? Cool Ice Cube 17.4 is unable to set a quick enough lap time there, and will be What is happening? Kingberger finishes P15. I don't know if I had a glitch there. I may have had a glitch. Sorry, there was just some drama happening in the minute as we do actually see Hawk have a trip into the gravel trap as he is the last driver on the circuit, so we just got up on board with Hawk to watch what he does at the final sector. So there's been some issues up and down the field. As sadly Nigelator wasn't able to actually set a lap, and this is due to the Codemaster bugs. We all love Codemasters, especially. Everyone wants to drive their games. We all know the issues that arise with them. Sadly, Nigelator wasn't able to set a lap. We'll be losing this session. X-Pilot to Nigelator, Cool Ice Cube, Kustov, and Liar Racing. My game's not liking me going up and down in a minute, as it was just glitching out there, but we've been losing Liar Racing, Kustov, Cool Ice Cube, Nigelator and X-Pilot. Sadly, they will get given the free choice of tyres to start the race on, so that is good. Cool Ice Cube's the driver who hasn't actually finished the lap yet. Jaffa, I know you're in the chat usually. For your screen, has Cool Ice Cube finished his lap? Or has he not? I'm going to double check this if it's just my game bugging or it's everyone else's. It's now showing he's on an out lap. Still just waiting for this lap to end. I haven't had any confirmation from Jaffe yet if it is a bug with the game or what it is a bug with. Still saying Cool Ice Cube is on an out lap. As Cool Ice Cube has left, this is due to the lobby being glitched again. So all of the glitches we've had with F1 today, this includes multiple people not even being able to boot the game up. We get another glitch sadly for Cool Ice Cube there as well, as we will invite him back to the game. Why have I gone to restart? That will show you how many tyres everyone's used. Jaffa's using one set, Storm 2, blah blah blah. So all these drivers using their sets of tyres. But yep, Jaffa at the minute. Jaffa, Storm, Skeefy, BTX, Rhythm, Yoslin, Gergo, Dame Zero, Welsh Deviant, Arnson, Lunderland, Stenbacken, Hawk, Bjorkland and Kingberger all safe. We have lost the likes of Liar Racing, Kustov, Cool Ice Cube, X-Pilot and Nigelator. So a shame for them. As Yoslin has left the session. Yoslin has rejoined the sessions. I believe he got an invite from Rhythm, who I believe he shares a party with consistently for this. His first car on track looks to be the McLaren here of Lunderland, who will be first to put his car onto the circuit and drive around. As it's weird, I believe, for some people, as this circuit isn't what they're running tomorrow in free practice, due to the fact of the changes to the end of the second DRS straight, turning it into more of a S-bend than a hard braking zone. We'll see how that actually affects everyone else. As there are still talks, sorry about this guys, there's still talks about what's happening with the lobby is glitching for everyone still. Oh, thank you Jaffa. Sorry. There you go. And nice to have you back, DSJ or Yostin. Still confuses me that your names is completely different, but makes sense. As actually, yeah, your game did end up crashing, sorry about that. So we have Jaffa, Storm, Skifi, Gergo on Welsh Deviant, Yostin, BTX, Jorkland and London all on the mediums. We have King Burger, Arnson, Hawk, Rhythm, Sten back and Arnson switched onto the mediums there actually, and Dame Zero all on the soft compound tyres. We will see what these drivers can do, as London will be the first one to start his flying lap. He comes through down the pit straight. We'll see what he can do. Keeping, don't know what that little dart was off to the right hand side. Those we actually see Mercedes up the top corner, coming into the final chicane actually because he had a flag there. Probably just backing up. Comes through the right hander. Does run a bit wide, but does not invalidate his lap time. We'll see what we can do to this right hander. Keeps it very nice. Keeps his foot planted very well. Into the left hander now. He comes up the hill, trying not to invalidate. As you see, him fighting the car a lot there. I don't know why I said very, but fighting the car as he came up the hill to try and actually keep it from invalidating his lap. Now coming up where the alterations have been made to the actual F1 circuit in real life. Coming up the hill, was completely off the accelerator for a bit there, puts his foot back down. Coming into the final sector, which is what people believe causes the circuit to become one of those boring on the calendar to watch in real life, as he does invalidate it sadly on the exit of that. But he will probably be pushing for this to be another go at these mediums. He did do a this and next lap invalidation. That's very painful for them. BTX will be the next car to cross the line. We'll see what he can end up doing. He does a 15.8 on mediums. I do not know what the delta is between these tyres, but I believe that is a very good lap for the mediums. As we do see Storm there, sorry I forgot about that as I thought he was on an out lap. Storm and Skeefy there, both set 15.9s on the medium compound tyre. Then have the Renault of King Burger on those softs, put in a 16.4, a good lap from there respectively. Jaffa has spun at turn 1. Congratulations Jaffa. Other drivers crossing the line now, we actually have Yostin, very good lap from him there, a 15.8, very well done. We also have Gerg on the medium, set is 16.1, so King Burger will be looking to improve his lap time. I don't know if there is any damage, there's no damage to the Red Bull of Jaffa there. His teammate crosses the line, sets a 17.0 on the mediums. We'll probably be going for a second flying lap on those medium compound tyres, like most people usually like to do, as the little train is formed. King Burger, Yoslin and Hawk have decided to start a little train up there. Very well done from him there. Oh, there we go. As we do actually see London come into the pits now, so next car to cross the line is going to be BTX. How is he using no ERS on over okay, confusions. Me? But he'll be starting his second flight. You actually see the Mercedes there, I believe, of Arnson overtaker Williams of Lyre Racing there. Yes, he did. ERN Storm comes into the pits, only doing one lap on his mediums, which is very weird, as I know he usually likes to do 2 laps on his mediums. He is followed in then by Skeefy. Arnson is about to start his flying lap now, ends his flying lap. Sorry about that, as he comes across the line, sets a 16.2. I know Arnson will probably be looking to improve on that time yet again. So we have the Ferrari hit of Gergo starting his flyer. This will be starting his second flyer. Yellow flags in turn 1, this is for Arnson getting out of the way of the Williams that was chasing him down there. other drivers coming into the pit. Yeah, a lot of other drivers now coming into the pits, not wanting to scrap their tyres up anymore if they can help it. As who's next car? It is Jordan starting his flying lap. Sorry, I keep hitting my mic. It's probably very annoying for you guys listening in. BTX here. This DSJ is actually saying, wow, this is close. Yes, it is very close. As the top four are all very close in this medium compound tyres. Gergo and Arndt are not even that far behind either. We'll actually see what the other drivers can do, as we do see Stenback and unlucky for Stenback and now he set up on middle sector, but did actually invalidate his lap time. He is probably very annoyed with himself, but he keeps his head up, goes for another lap. I know he can do great things with this lap. Yeah, we do see him starting up a lap. Yellow flag brought out by, I believe, Arntzen there, getting out the way. Another car comes on a flyer. Gergo's finishing his flyer. We'll see what Gergo can do. Gergo improves by 1.5 tenths. As Josten apparently isn't even purple in any sector. Do see Gergo there, but in a 15.9 as well. You talked about close. You want it even closer? It will be even closer than you think it will be up there, as at this point Jocelyn, BTX, Gergo may all be thinking that they have to do another lap, as we go to see Rhythm there set up for sector 1. So Jocelyn's teammate there, or DSJ's teammate, is actually set up for sector 1. Maybe he'll be thinking he has to go back out. London is starting a lap, so yeah. Step back into validated, so first car will be Gergo, I believe. Yep. Gergo, who isn't on a flyer, gets out the way of Rhythm. We'll see what Rhythm can do, as Rhythm now comes into the left-hand purple middle sector as well. This could be an amazing lap from him here. We'll see if the game is just giving out purple middle sectors, or it is him actually pushing purple middle sectors. McLaren now on the exit of turn 1 has ended up spinning. I believe that is London, and yes, that is. He's done a full pirouette 360, done one again. He'll be hoping to rejoin the track safely. As we do see the Haas there, I believe, with Dame Zero decided to take the new layout for Spain. But Rhythm coming across the line of Rhythm there, puts in a 16.0, makes it even closer. There you go. Also, when you want it closer, it will be closer. So look at the amount of drivers here who have actually done their laps on the softer compound tyres. Walk and Kingberg are the only ones who actually did their laps on the soft. Everyone else went into the mediums and are doing wonders in the mediums, as Jaffa starting his lap now. Jaffa is... no, Rhythm is on a lap. Rhythm's not using any ARS, so that's an in-lap. Oh, that's an in-lap. Kingberg is on an out-lap, there you go, Stenback and then Jaffa. So we'll hop on board with Kingberg, give him a bit of the limelight at the minute. We'll see what he can do with his time respectively. Coming down through the left-hander. This is one of the parts where you can just run a bit too wide and validate your lap time or pick up warnings in the race. The Alfa Romeo there keeps very nicely out of the way of him, as he does run very wide down the side. He doesn't validate his lap time. 6 minutes left, he can go to the pitch, chuck a new set of boots on and come back out, or he could end up just boxing, and that end up being it for him. Actually, no, why did I say boxing and that being the end? He could end up doing another lap, as we do see Deviant has managed to do a 360 pirouette there. Don't know how he's done that. We'll actually up on board with Jaffa now, as we're going to see what Jaffa can do on his set of mediums. Jaffa now coming down through the right-hander, so about to go through the final chicane, which is very painful for anyone to go through. Nicely done, keeps his foot planted, keeps close to the right, should take the best line he can. It comes across the line and sets a 15.3. A massive improvement on the fastest time so far. As it does make you think, is anyone else going to be able to set a lap like that? As Jordan comes into the pits, probably believing his lap is carry on. Hawk also comes into the pits, meaning the only car that is on a flyer at the minute would be Deviant, but Deviant did have his spin, so we'll go further down the order and we'll hop on board with Rhythm, who 1/10 improvement sadly invalidates. Unlucky from him there, as I have just been told that we are going to actually restart the lobby after qualifying, as it won't let Call Ice Cube join. So that is an issue that is happening regarding Codemasters and their game. Game 0 after last week's crash at Canada, which did actually result in Nigel Later's DNF and massive damage for Game 0, is hoping that he can have a better weekend of racing this time round, as he's in the Haas this week. I believe last week he was in the Red Bull, if I'm not mistaken. We'll see what he can end up doing as he actually comes across the line to start his flyer, and we'll sit on board with him for a bit. Is him, Rhythm, and Jaffa the only ones. Rhythm is in Sector 1, Jaffa. We'll hop on board with Jaffa. Is Jaffa on a consecutive flyer? No, he isn't, so he can stay on, so see what he can end up producing. He comes down just past the exit of Sector 1. It's not set up with Sector 1. That doesn't mean he can go. That doesn't mean he can't go first, due to the fact of when Jocelyn was P1, he actually had no purple sectors, meaning he improved on everyone's, but wasn't quick enough. RS Hawk has retired in the pits, believing he is not able to actually improve his lap time there. Game 0 now coming down the DRS straight. We'll see him go into the left-hander as he comes up the hill. This time going to take the actual circuit this game is made out, and not the new circuit. Comes up the hill through the long right-hander, or a semi-long right-hander, which is very tricky to actually get right some of the time. Down into the final chicane. We'll see what he can do as he comes through here, hoping not to invalidate his lap. Runs wide, but not wide enough to invalidate. Keeps the car nicely planted. Where can he put it? He puts a 17-1 in. He'll be looking to improve on that time massively, as I believe the Iron Storm is the one, or is one of the cars where that yellow flag was just pulled up. We'll end up seeing what he can do with his lap, as only people on fast laps at the minute is, well, the only person that we can hop on board with is Lunderland, as he's about to finish his lap. Careful not to invalidate his lap time there. Comes up the hill, runs across the curb very aggressively there, but manages to keep the car nicely planted. As we're seeing his rear end step massively out on these corners. Don't know if that is just an imbalance for his car or what it is. Keeps the car nicely planted, turns into the right-hander. Down the DRS straight, opens his rear wing, puts in a 17-1, that keeps him in P14, he'll be hoping to improve. So will this man, stand back and with a 36.9 on the soft compound tyres, he'll be massively hoping to improve that lap time to catch up to the guys either ahead of him. I believe Rhythm's going to be the next car to cross the line. Yes, he is. He comes to the final sector and actually comes into the pits. Rhythm boxes, maybe believing that his lap time is good enough, so he won't actually have time for another lap. Yellow flags being brought out by the Mercedes and NRC. Game 0 also comes into the pits, and that'll be more than like the last we see of him there. And P12 for the 71, not likely going to set another lap, so we'll get the time out unless we've got the timing glitch yet again. Welsh Demon bringing out a yellow flag there, as Iron Storm's going to be the first driver to end his lap. We'll end up seeing what he can do, as I think he got a bit out of shape coming to the final sector there, but we'll see what he can do. Comes across the line, does not improve, goes slower sadly. Skeefy there starting his flyer, followed by Arndt. Yeah, Arndt, sorry. The wrong one. It's actually Skeefy gives slipstream to Arndt. This is teamwork from both the Mercedes drivers, hoping that they can help tow the other one along to improve, as everyone now is on outlaps or either in the pits. So I've just had Google brought up on my phone for what I've said then in the stream. As Deviant there goes off turn 1-2. He's going to be very on himself there. Dame 0 retires in the pits and can't get improved on his lap time. BTX now improvement by 1/10 on his lap time. We'll see what we can do to the final sector if he can actually go any if he can go any faster through this final sector. Ooh, massive switch of oversteer from the rear end, and decides to. Will that actually be the last we do see of him or not? As Arnton is a car I'm intrigued to hop on board with to get the slipstream down the pit straight from Skeefy, which I haven't seen any other driver get slipstream like that. Going down the pit straight. As he now comes through, invalidates his lap time. He is now hoping that Lunderland and Stenbacken cannot improve their lap times, as Kingberger has finished and Deviant did end up spinning as much slower on his lap time. Lunderland's 5 seconds slow on his lap time, so he will not be challenging it either, as he isn't actually putting his foot down, step back again, a very squirrely rear end. We're going to see what he can do on the soft compound tyres. Goes in and goes P2 with a 15-1 Arntzen there. That invalidation to the last corner has massively cost him, and that has actually knocked him out, putting him P11. Deviant here will not be able to improve either, so we are going to lose now NRC Arntzen, King Burger, Welsh Deviant, London and Dame Zero. That is a big shock to lose Arntzen there as well, as he is a very strong driver usually and just seems to have had a few mishaps. But we will all, yeah, sadly. Well, actually, something I'm surprised at is Stenbakken, Hawk and Jorkland are all on the soft compound tyres in Q3, so they'll be the only drivers starting on those softs. They'll be hoping that those softs at the race start can give them a much better edge over the medium runners. We'll have to wait until we get to the full race to see what happens. Everyone's either in pits or has finished, so that's good. We'll now just have to wait. As there have been no collisions in qualifying, which is very good, meaning no 5-place grid penalties for any driver. So here's confirmation. Jaffa was quickest with Stenbakken, Rhythm, Jocelyn, BTX, Skeefy, Gergo, Storm, Jorkton and Hawk. Stenbakken there, resulting in the knocking out of Arntzen, who was sat in P10 after that slipstream from Skeefy, but sadly invalidates final turn. Then it is King Burger, Deviant, London and Dame Zero. All of those drivers will be sat from the positions 11 to 15 on the grid, unless anyone in the top 10 or unless anyone in the top 5 ends up getting a 5-place grid penalty due to a collision with another driver. It's actually a lot darker here now. Doesn't seem to be enough, doesn't seem to be any rain, but it's a lot darker. As Jaffa says, he honestly didn't even feel like his lap was a good lap. Jaffa, we don't need you to blow your own trumpet that much more, okay? As first car is out on the circuit, BTX will be first out on the circuit. And we'll see what BTX can end up doing with his lap. Can he challenge Jaffa for pole? After, if we're not counting last week, Jaffa had a massive pole streak, but ended up missing last week's race, and I think it was Liar Racing who ended up getting pole last week. Correct me if I'm wrong, as someone may know in the chat, who ended up actually getting pole last week. Because I can't actually remember that much about last week's race. As Jaffa and Yosin are having a little bit of banter with each other in the chat. So here we go, every driver is out for their first, more than likely 2 laps that they'll end up doing. And surprise, surprise, everyone's in a soft compound tyre. So yeah, it will look like BTX, unless Skeefy overtakes him, will be the first driver across the line. BTX now starting his flying lap, we'll see what he's going to end up doing. As BTX here does a very good sector 1. The Haas there of Jorkland gets out the way of him. It's a very nice thing to do, not giving his opponent any slipstream either, which is good. Skeefy is also following him through. Skeefy last week's winner, I believe. BTX still keeping his foot planted, as he did actually complain about his final lap in Q2. saying it was a purple sector 1, purple sector 2, and he ended up bidding his final sector as he couldn't keep the car. Well done. Oh, well planted as he does set a purple sector 2 there as well. Skeefy, though, I believe has just taken that purple sector 2 away from him. Yes, he does. This is going to be very close between the Alfa Romeo driver and the Mercedes driver. BTX comes through the final corner into the final chicane. Rides the curb very aggressively there. Does real life would have done massive damage to the underside of that car, but keeps the car going as he actually sets a 15-3 there. We'll see what Skeefy can do. Skeefy says 15-1. So this battle between Skeefy and BTX is going to start. As we do actually see Stenbakken there put in a 15-4, so that's very close to the back of those two drivers. Very well done from him there. Bjorklund about to start his final lap. Gergo back here was on a flyer at the minute, so we'll have all of the Gergo and see what he can end up doing. Gergo coming through the final corner in a second. The DRS meter does open up. We'll see what Gergo can do as he opens his rear wing. Gergo there goes even quicker than Skeefy there with the 15-1s. This is going to be very close, just like Jocelyn actually predicted. Jocelyn, Rhythm comes now across the line. Rhythm there with the 16.6, he'll be hoping to improve on that. Jocelyn, as we hop on board with him quickly, gets really out of shape on the rear ends. Jaffa now invalidated this and next lap. Jaffa's going to be very annoyed with himself there as RS Hawk finishes his lap with a perfect final sector there. Very well done from there. 16-1, maybe hoping to do 2 consecutive laps. He might not have thought that was a good enough lap for him there. His teammate of BTX is going to be nice as he takes out the board coming into the pits. The Mercedes of Skeefy comes into the pits as well. So we'll start to see the first few drivers actually coming into the pits. Jocelyn there also comes into the pits. Ooh. Jocelyn, you're very lucky you didn't actually smack the wheel there. Live Racing has rejoined the session. Live Racing, I believe, was knocked out in Q1. Maybe knocked out in Q2, my memory isn't the best. I'm sorry that it is not the best. BTX there with the purple sector 2 right up until Skeefy just yoinked it straight off of him. Gergo here comes into the pits as well. Same as, I was about to say same as Storm. Storm was not coming to the pits, actually puts a lap time of 15.3 and set a purple middle and purple final sector in. We see Rhythm also come into the pits. Jaffa, I believe, will also come into the pits now as well. And he doesn't want to scrub these tyres up anymore, as they're probably already very worn from his first run. Hawk, we'll see if he comes straight into the pits as well. Hawk has invalidated his lap time, I believe he will. Yes, he will. So, only cars out on circuit at the minute are the likes of Stenbakken, who, graciously as we hop on board with him, decides to do a 360 pirouette. Very well done from him there. BTX also saying that his final sector is not the best. Don't know if BTX is actually tuning into the stream or not, as Stenbakken decides to just take out every little board there is on the side of the circuit. Bjorklund is actually on a flyer. I'm sorry that I missed that, if Bjorklund's listening as well. As Jaffa said, his invalidation is actually good, as even though he didn't set a lap, he has got a benchmark for him. So that will state as his delta time that he can see if he improves or is slower on. Bjorklund comes into the pits. So does the likes of the Williams of Stenbakken. The Orange Storm, I believe, will also come into the pits. Yes, he does. BTX is on his out lap, so he'll be the only car on the circuit. He looks to actually be trying to do 3 laps, not the usual 2 that drivers do. You see Jaffa and Yosin just having a chat in the chat of the stream at the minute. Both of them seem to be getting on well. Jocelyn down there in Q10 and Jaffa down there in Q9, neither to set a lap yet. We'll see what they can end up doing. There is actually the Red Bull, oh no, his teammate there of RS Hawk has to get out of the way of BTX, as BTX is on a flyer, Hawk is on an outlap, doesn't want to hamper his teammate at all. In a purple sector 1 there from BTX reportedly, that is very good from him there. Coming up through, or down through the left hand, I was about to say up, it's not up corners. As he now actually comes through the uphill section, up through a left and then a right, try not to invalidate the lap time. About to take this corner, which you can take flat out. He eases a tad off the accelerator, but still takes it mostly flat out. Opens his rear wing. As you can see, that is open there. Slams it shut as a purple second sector. He has improved by a tenth so far. He will need to improve by a little bit more to get to be ahead of the likes of Gergo up there in P1. Comes through the final sector, gets a bit squirrely on the rear end. He's not invalidated, keeps a very nice turning in, hits the curb aggressively yet again, hits both of them aggressively. That's going to cost him massively, so we do actually see his rear step out from this amazing helicopter view that we get. He was up by about 2/10, he improves by 3/10 there. Brilliant lap from him there, actually puts his car into P1. Very well done from him there. His ROS Corp now floors it to start his flying lap. I believe BTX will go into the pit and then try and chuck a new pair of softs on and come back out. Trying 3 different laps on those soft compound tyres. Yes, DSJ did disqualify his first lap. He's annoyed with himself there, but keep your head up and you'll be able to do wonderful things with your next lap. Just think like that and you'll end up doing well in this game. Always try and catch the car ahead. To keep yourself clean in the way as we actually see Hawk take one of the best lines I have actually seen on that corner. He comes up the hill now. He didn't end up setting the purple sector 1, but it's done a very nice few turns here. Keeps the car nice and planted. Oh, he's late on opening up his DRS. That could cost him a few little tenths. He's at the minute down by a tenth. He will be wanting to improve. He is the first of the 3 drivers in the 16s, whereas every other driver is in the 15s or has not set a lap. As almost seemingly losing the rear end as he slams across all the curbs, and that is all over the place there from Hawk. Hawk did not have a fun time in that final sector. It was all over the place, it looked like, and just that final little bump didn't help him at all in the slightest. Jocelyn and Jaffa still in the pit. Oh no, Jaffa's coming out now. Jocelyn may want to get out on the circuit lap. There's actually a driver going into the pits there. Aaron Storm here starts his flying lap, so we can stop him for a minute and see what he can do. Red Bull there of Jaffa keeping well out of the way, no need to infringe. I think it's infringe is the word. Fellow driver there, as it's for some reason not showing Storm on the mini-map. Oh, there we go. It's just where the actual blue of the AlphaTauri was. He comes up the hill to his right-hander. Like it doesn't seem to be on this like uphill, downhill like the likes of Portugal or Spa, but still it is actually up and down a little bit. Storm now through this left-hander and through the right-hander. Hawk's retired in the pits, probably believing he can get another lap in with the amount of time that's left in qualifying. Which makes sense. He did leave it a bit later than his teammate Gergo, oh not Gergo, of BTX, who is actually on an outlap. Storm there sets a path with the sector respectively. Don't know if that is the game just giving them away, or that is actually him setting up with the sector as he comes through this long right-hander. Careful not to run too wide on the exit, now comes into the final sector, which most drivers complain about. Bumps across both curbs, what can he end up doing with his lap time here? Puts his foot down for the final time, goes down the straight, where can he put his car? He puts it just behind BTX. With another 15-0, these drivers are improving massively in their lap time. See Jocelyn start his final lap with 42 seconds spare, very well timed for them. Jaff will be next to start his lap, and then it will be Rhythm. They want to get out of the way though of Jorkland, who is actually coming through on a flyer, but I believe they'll be so far ahead they don't even need to. As no, it's a bit too far back to even think about getting slipstream now, so I'm about to say. Maybe Skeefy is, not Skeefy, maybe Rhythm is getting a bit of slipstream after this, but not. Jorkland comes across the line with a 15.3, a very improvement by almost a second from Jorkland, so very well done to you there, Jorkland. You have put your car into P5, very well done. You do see Stenbacken, he's off the exterior, I believe that is Stenbacken's qualifying over as well, as he's just trundling down the pit straight. Aaron Storm is not on a flying lap, so he's just pulled off the side of the road. It was Jocelyn who actually went past him there as Storm takes the line that Dame Zero took and actually takes the new line as Jocelyn locks up his front left. That shouldn't hamper him that much into his final sector. keeps a very nice plant on the car as he comes across the line. Where can he put it? That's a 14.9 from Jocelyn. Beats the likes of BTX Storm or BTX and Storm's 15.0, so very well done from him there. As Jaffa 14.5 there and Rhythm a 14.9, so both racing points with 14.9s there. But Jaffa a 14.5, sorry we did not catch that lap on stream as I just saw big damage there for BTX coming for that final sector. I also missed Skeefy's final lap, but he ended up invalidating it. So there'll be no improvement there from BTX. He slams into the wall, damaging his front wing. Don't know if that also held up Gergo. Gergo comes across the line with a 15.1, a bit slow. He may have been held up by BTX there, which was annoying. He did. Stenbacken and Jorkland last. That's their qualifying over as well, as they cannot improve on their lap times. So, Rhythm hitting Jaffa's car in AI mode. Those two giving each other a love tap. DSJ saying his lap was okay. Would you wanted to go to? Would you have wanted to go faster there though, Jocelyn? Or could you have gone faster if there was like an error in the lap? But we do actually. It's a bit of time. Didn't want to score fight. There you go. As Jaffa, stop blowing your own horn. You don't need to say it's not the best lap time, but I'm happy with it every time you get pole. Jaffa here on pole with a 14.5. He's followed by the likes of the 2 racing points of Rhythm and Jocelyn. BTX in the Alfa Romeo, or the first Alfa Romeo, Anson's left the session, so we are actually all going to leave the session. Followed by Ear and Storm, Gergo, Skeefy, Jorkland, Stenback and Hawk. So we are actually all going to leave the session, so I will pause the stream for a little bit if that is okay with everyone. As we are going to have to wait a tad. So yeah, we have just got confirmation from NRC Anson that we are going to have a lobby restart. This is due to the fact of the lobby actually bugging out multiple times during qualifying. As DSJ says AMS top 3, yes it is an AMS top 3, well done to you 3 up there. As FRA BTX actually calls himself a bottle job there, he's probably not even tuning into the Twitch, but you are not, you did a very good lap, you were just unlucky to end up hitting the wall there. So we'll all just be waiting for the next lobby to actually start. So here we go. As we are now all just going to wait in the lobby while every driver joins, as we can have a look at everyone's helmets if you guys want, when they actually load. So intriguing, I know. We can look at helmets. As there you have Ants and Skeefy. There's Skeefy, probably replaces Bottas. Probably a better driver than Bottas as well at the minute. Ex-pilot there in the Ferrari, who'll be starting sadly from the back of the grid. AMS Jaffa Deviant there. Likes of Kingberger in his Renault helmet. Pierre Gasly randomly just to see them. Jocelyn, BTX, and then both houses of Liar Racing and Step Back. So here we are just waiting for everyone to join this lobby as Codemasters decided to alter for themselves yet again for us. Amazing job, Codemasters. Is any predictions from anyone in the chat over who is going to be the top 3 at the end of this race? Jaffa, you cannot put yourself as 1, 2, and 3 at the end of this race, okay? I have to choose one of the numbers. Jaffa goes with an AMS 1, 2, 3. Of course you do. Of course you do. Anything? Any guess from you, Jocelyn? Jocelyn says Jaffa P1. Any other predictions, or is it just going to be Jaffa P1? For me, I think the top 3 is going to be hard to actually pick up or pick out, as we all know that Jaffa could end up just walking this again. But then you've also got to remember the likes of Skeefy, who 3 races in a row, I believe, has been P20 after lap 1, has ended up taking P2 or P3 in them, doing brilliant drives from him there. Also the likes of BTX, who has been saying purple sectors all this time, but has ended up invalidating through that final sector. He may be able to improve, as, yep, Jocelyn says just Jaffa P1. Jocelyn, you've got to have some self-belief there, mate. Put yourself P1 occasionally, see what happens. I need to remind everyone that they need to actually put setups on their car. As we don't want drivers starting on default setups, we know how painful that can be. Actually no, Jaffa, you can start on a default setup, everyone else can start on their actual setups. Make it fair. We are just reminding all 20 drivers that they need to start on the tyres they did actually qualify on, as Jocelyn has, oh not Jocelyn, yeah, Jocelyn has actually said. The start of the race is very painful with no traction. It is very, very painful. Jaffa, how many little points do you have now for this channel? I think it is very, very high, the amount of points you have for the channel. You have 8.9k, Jaffa. You watch too much. I've got 6.1k. DSJ's down 3.9k points. This is... So I believe we are just waiting for one more driver. So we are actually waiting for Cool Ice Cube, who is actually having issues with his console at the minute. Is the problem. Loyalty to NRC is what I can call it. Jaffa, it's loyalty to NRC. Why aren't you called NRC Jaffa then? Boom. Just blew your mind. NRC Jaffa. Nah, NRC's not your home. You've been adopted. But if AMS is your home, why is it PGR Jaffa then in the Discord? Or not in the Discord, in the Twitch. You should just name your Jaffa cakes and keep it at that. Jocelyn, what do you think? We should just keep his name as Jaffa Cakes? So we are still waiting for one driver. This is Jaffa. As Jocelyn actually says, he doesn't want multiple safety cars this race. Thing is, Jocelyn, I want multiple safety cars just to spice the race up a bit. Whereas he does say he's going to keep it AMS. Wow. AMS. Jaffa, do not start spamming AMS in the chat, okay? We do not need a spam of another league in the chat. Jocelyn, that also applies to you. You can spam in the Discord if you want. I don't have any control over the Discord, so you have to ask, answer and stuff. But it'll be funny to watch that. As we are still just waiting on one driver, so... Yeah, we're still just waiting ever so kindly for the last driver to end up joining. I really don't have anything to talk about. Yaffa and Jocelyn, you got any predictions for the actual F1 this weekend then? You'll put it on poll. You two seem to be the most talkative in the chat anyway. As DSJ does say to Lewis, any prediction from you then, Jaffa? Hamilton, pole, Verstappen can't get past Lewis. The entire race and Lewis wins the race. I have a feeling Bottas and Hamilton will have a 2016 Spain incident. And talk to a 28-second gap to third. Jaff, if you are correct with that, fair play. As there we go, Cool Ice Cube finally joins. No offense to Cool Ice Cube as a person, we just know his Xbox was a bit iffy. Sainz versus Lando for P3, Perez P5. Yeah, that could actually work as well. I have a feeling that with what Mercedes have reportedly said, and anyway with their reserve drivers looking even more races than ever, we could maybe see just Bottas not finish this season as a Mercedes driver. If he does not start improving with these gaps he has to do. Yes, he's had 2 podiums, but his gaps have been massive. The likes of Hamilton, and they're in the same car, which is very shocking. But I think the biggest story will be if Mazepin doesn't end up spinning, as we have just been finally told that we can ready up. There we go. So do actually have the likes of Dame Zero and Aaron Storm both having a little discussion over who's better, Chelsea or Liverpool. Or if there is going to be a little break for and Yosten, both you in the Discord. Just a little wait while everyone puts their setups on. As I don't know if Jaffa is actually watching the football, so if he is not, I will just quickly tell him it's the Arsenal score. Hopefully Arsenal are losing. What? Jaffa, current scores in the Europa League are both 0-0. So you don't have to worry about either team. We're knocked out just yet. So we just need to wait for everyone to put their setups on their cars, and then we'll be away. Also, drivers will have to start on the correct compound tyre that they don't actually qualify on. I know you guys can hear that as I've just seen that go overhead out my window. That was just a military aircraft flying closely overhead. I'm sorry that that picked up on my mic and that all of you guys had to hear that. As we're still just waiting. Do 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 do. So we are actually just telling people to switch their correct compound tyres at the minute. We're sorry about there being such a big delay during the stream. We're just making sure the correct drivers start on their tyres. As yes, currently we do have 3 drivers of Stenbacken and Yorkland who need to select the correct compound of a tyre. And I believe BTX also needs to. Oh no, BTX did do a lap on medium. I believe it's... Don't tell me the keeps bugging again. As Jaffa says, good luck to everyone, and DSJ says good luck to you as well. We're still just waiting, both of you, so you guys can keep just talking about whatever the hell you want in the chat. So yeah, there we go, everyone's now starting up. There we go. And so there we go, finally I can actually properly set up to do this stream, as we've just been waiting for so long for everything to finally be fixed, but it is looking now that it is fixed. There we go, everyone's out on their formation lap. Here we go, yay. So we'll see what drivers can do on their laps. Stenbacken is now on the soft compound tyres, even though it's showing us on mediums. Jaffa, if you keep begging them, they're not going to do it. Jaffa warming his medium compound tyres up. These mediums need to be warmed up a lot more than soft compound tyres. They were freezing on the start of the race, and they should now be a ripe old 90 degrees Celsius by the end of this formation lap. So there we go, we get the tyres. There we go. We just got shown the preferred strategy. So I know the preferred strategy for here is medium hard or soft hard. Hard being the preferred race tyre, making it a one stop, but we may see some drivers go soft, soft, medium or something like that. Because at the minute we do see the top 7 all on the mediums, Jorkton, Stenbacken, Hawk and Arntzen all on the soft compound tyres. Behind them we have Kingberger, Deviant, Lunderland and Dame Zero and Liar Racing actually on the mediums. But behind that we have Kustov, Cool Ice Cube, X-Pilot on the hards, with Nigel just splitting the last 2 on the mediums. The drivers on the hards are going to be hoping to go as long as they can during the race and see what they can do. So now AI has taken over for Jaffa. Yet again, I will have to apologise to everyone as to start this race. The timing screen is probably going to mess up on me again, therefore making it so I'm going to have to wing it where everyone is. I will have no actual information on who is where at the time. So I'm very sorry about that, but that is the reality we've got, as I want to get a good view of this start. And a good luck to all drivers and people that are tuning into the stream. We hope for a good race. It's okay, we're getting a view back here. It's fine. There we go. Give you the lights. 4, 5 lights. Out and away we go. A good launch seemed to be there from Rhythm over Jaffa's. BTX got a mega launch there. It's up the inside of both racing points and now it's chasing down Jaffa going down the pit straight. No collisions at the back either. As actually there was the racing point there. Got very squirrely on the exits. We do see, I believe that is the Williams and Haas getting a little tangled there. All drivers making up the hill just fine. X-Spider has ended up jumping down to last. Arntzen there has actually moved up in position. One thing that I haven't just noticed is the fact of both racing points have dropped down positions. There is actually grass getting kicked up at the back of the grid. Don't know who that was, but there's a yellow flag being brought out. That is actually the Haas there of Jorkland there. Having a awful start, it seemed like, as he is actually getting overtaken now as well by Kustov, pushing him a little bit wide there. But at the front of the grid, it starts with Jaffa leading BTX, then Rhythm, Ewan Storm, Ewan Skeefy ahead of Ewan Storm now. And then it is Hawk who's just gone up the inside of Jocelyn. Jocelyn now also getting pressured by Arntzen, who seems to have got a much better exit over the racing point driver. Actually makes his way past 2, as we do actually see the Haas there of Jorkton sideways into the barrier. Don't know if that was any damage. No, it doesn't look like there's any damage, but we do also see Stenbacken further back has had another incident as well. Don't know if there is any damage. We're coming down the final corner. The soft runners of Arntzen and Hawk moving up positions massively in this opening lap compared to the medium runners, as those softs were able to be fired. Up to temperature a lot earlier on the mediums. Apparently BTX has just overtaken Hawk. BTX has just overtaken us. Here we go, timing boards will glitch out for a bit. I'm sorry about this. I'm just going to have to wing it on who is, but we want to position as there is a yellow flag. These yellow flags being caused by Stenbacken, as I believe Stenbacken has lost most of his front wing. There was a move there between the Williams of Liar Racing there and the Renault. Don't know what Renault it is, don't know where it is in the grid. Very sorry about that. As Deviant's now leading the race. Congrats, Deviant. There we go. Jaffa still followed by BTX. Then it is still the same running order, I believe. The 2 soft runners managing to get up positions very well from there. As you actually see, Jorkland's now dropped as well. Jorkland's in the correct position, so it's Nigel to okay. Oh, as we do actually see the runner back there of Kingberger. They go a complete 360, he's hoping not to do any damage to his front wing and manage down the track. He has lost track position massively though, but he's in mediums, meaning he can take them later. He can take them later on in the race, as there is. There's this DRS train as Hawk gets all out of position there. Ends up losing in the car. That's very unlucky from Hawk there. He was running right behind Arntzen in P8, but sadly has just lost the rear end, and that car has ended up stepping to get a very nice onboard here from Ewan Storm. We'll see what Ewan Storm can do coming onto the back straight, onto the pit straight. DRS just being enabled, so we do actually stand back and pit now. Stand back in this pit for the hard compound. The hard compound tyre, seeing if you can go late into the race here. As stand back is not P8 actually, guys. Do not worry about it showing him P8. He is actually right at the back of the grid, I believe. It is just showing that he has done one less lap than everyone for some reason. Instead of the likes of Jaffa, who's pulled out a 1 second gap to BTX, who's actually pulled out a 1 second gap himself to Rhythm. Rhythm there getting chased by Skeefy, who's also chased by Storm, and then Arnson shows yellow flag called Sector 1. I believe that is Sten back and ended up causing that, as we do see a new front wing for Kingberger there, as he did actually end up taking an end plate off. Nigelator here, who had actually slept off quite far back, down back near where Jordan was to improve. We do see Aaron Storm there getting past Skeefy as they come onto this DRS straight. Both drivers still having DRS though, so there is no disadvantage for either one of them as they come down this straight. Just realised, off the back of Dame Zero, there's a massive gap to the back of Deviant and his own little DRS straight that's been happening. As we do see Cool Ice Cube look for a move on Liar Racing, but does not go for it, and the drivers further back, that was maybe either attempted by them. But I don't know who I'd say is in the best position in this race so far. It's still very early days and open doors here, as both Mercedes now are close together. Likes of Arnson trying to chase down Skeefy, Arnson on the medium, softer compound tyres respectively, as we do see Jocelyn set past Snap. So Jocelyn, who's right over the back of Arnson, going to go for a move into turn 1. Ooh, don't know if he pushes Arnson wide there or not, but they believe they stay wheel to wheel. Has he made the move on Arnson? Nope, I believe Arnson had a little, so I don't know if he had spun off the side of the car. He's still got both end plates, which is good, but he's on the soft, which is going to hamper him a tad more, but he has ended up joining into the middle of this queue. He's still running off circuit there, probably going to latch onto the back of that group. I don't know if Jocelyn had a collision with Arnson there or not. We do see Storm all over the back of Rhythm now, Storm hoping that he can make his way past as we go up the hill onto the DRS straight. DRS wide open, slipstream as well, but he's just not close enough to even think about making a move. Same as Skeefy. Skeefy right into the back of him, so actually having another yellow flag. This is caused by Lunderland and the likes of Nigelator, both going wide at that corner. Lunderland with no front wing. I don't know if there is any damage to the likes of Nigelator there. There is virtual safety car. This virtual safety car has come out at a handy time for Jaffa, but Jaffa's not going to pit. No one's going to pit yet. If they were to pit now off the mediums, that'd be crazy, because I don't believe the hards can actually last to the end of the race. Only driver this could help it is Hawk or someone else. But that's major damage there for the likes of Wonderland, as we're now green flags, and I believe that Storm gets to jump on Rhythm going down the pit straight. Rhythm not happy that the safety car obviously probably ended while he was on the straight. Here and Skeefy, a much better exit from Skeefy here as well, as he looks to go around the outside of Rhythm. Just can't get the traction, but look at that, goes on the... makes a ski back, as we call it, on Rhythm there. A little switchback, very well done from him there. With the likes of Gergo right on the back of Jocelyn, chasing him as they go up the hill now as well. So these guys are just hoping for no collisions and just to keep it clean, as we do see Hawk get past Deviant. X-Pilot's going to be the one of the next driver lining up the move, as we do actually have Arnson back here, down in P15, after his little tussle with, I believe it was Rhythm, as they went up to turns 1, 2 and 3. Something I want to keep an eye on is how close Skeefy is to the back of Storm. We know both these drivers are very quick respectively, but I wouldn't be able to call which one is quicker. Hawk ends up getting past Ice Cube there as well. Deviant looking to go at the back of Cool Ice Cube as well. So these drivers, trading blow for blow, it seems like. Which driver can make the most moves on the first opening laps? We do actually see Kirstoff get all out of shape down. That means Arnson will probably have to lift his foot off the accelerator, as Kirstoff's not liking the type on the tyres, but Arnson does come to the pits off of his soft tyres. Those softs may be burning up, or you may believe that you can take the hards to the end of the race here. Jaffa pulling out more time to the back of BTX, who's respectively even pulling more time out to the back of Storm. There is a yellow flag in sector 3 that is sent back, and I believe who's had a partial spin. No wing damage from them, so yeah, probably just a partial spin. Arnson hopping off the medium tyres. I think Arnson is looking to go much longer in this race, actually, from Arnson there. I think there'll be a safety car, probably. But it means now Arnson can pit for the mediums again. He doesn't have to abide by what the other drivers have to abide by, which is the 2 different sets of tyres. Arnson has now used the softs and the medium, used the medium, softs or hards. So that pit stop has helped him out massively, as I believe some of the other drivers further down have actually done that already. But Jaffa now still leads the race from BTX, from Storm. Skeef Days also managed to get past the racing pods of Rhythm. Jocelyn a bit further back. Jocelyn still followed by Gergo's X-Pilot managed to get past Deviant, and it looks like Deviant does now have Kostov all over the back of him. We're going to see if Kostov can get past him. I just want to hop a bit further forward to see what happens between these two drivers, Liar Racing and Hawk. Hawk DRS. Opens that rear wing, uses his ERS up, whereas Liar Racing does actually have more ERS, as Hawk is now down to 0% ERS, whereas Liar Racing here on 50%. Hawk gets much further ahead, but doesn't seem to make the turn one as nice as he would like. We do see Liar Racing getting a little bit better traction, even though he's on the hard compound tyres. Skeefy's still all over the back of Storm. He's probably getting team orders to stay behind Storm, see if Storm can actually catch up to the likes of BTX and Jaffa ahead of him. I believe for the bottom 5 drivers, this is a start they would wish to forget. Most of these drivers had very good qualifying positions. They've just ended up being involved in incidences which has hampered their race at the minute. Kostov still all over the back of Deviant going up the hill here, but I think Storm is just... he's staying close to the back of BTX, but he's just not closing it up enough, which is hampering him a little bit. We do see a bit squirrely exit there from Jocelyn. That is going to mean that Gergo gets a much better exit. Gergo opening up the rear wings, getting a much better line as there is a yellow flag. This is caused by Stenbacken. No retirement, but another spin from Stenbacken has removed most of his front wing. Lucky enough to bring out a virtual safety car, as Hawks ended up getting a 5-second time penalty for speeding the pit lane. Hawks will be kicking himself after that. It's a rookie move to get a 5-second time penalty in the pits. He's going to be annoyed, but the team instantly work on his car, getting it back out. Very well done from him there. As Yorkland also comes in, both those were the soft runners that were still out, whereas Arntzen had already pitted. Lunderland still has Kingberg all over the back of him. We'll see what they can do. HC Arntzen there get DRS and use some of his overtake to get past the Alpha Tauri. The military jets get back over, I'm sorry about that. To get past Nigel later. I don't know what the hell they're doing. I'm sorry, as there is actually a Williams there of Stenbacken who pulls out the way. Trying not to cause a Stenbacken just got 10 seconds for exceeding track limits. I can even show that on stream, and I will appeal that 10-second time penalty for Stenbacken. That should never be 10 seconds. Should never. As all cars still leading each other. Skeefy and Storm here being very smart, as Skeefy's saying he won't attack Storm more than likely, as he actually uses DRS and overtake to overtake his teammate there. Sorry about that. Miscommunication there from me. But Skeefy with that DRS and Storm and that DRS are actually helping each other stay ahead of Rhythm. Gergo, I've missed actually getting past Yosin, I'm sorry about that. But Dame Zero started 15th up to 8th, very good start from him there. As Stenbacken has actually retired in the pit lane. It's sad to see he's not retiring in the pit lane, but he had just what seemed to be a very bad opening lap, as all X-Pilots really holding up Deviant there. As that's just Deviant with so much more pace compared to the Ferrari there of X-Pilot. Just wasn't able to execute it, well, execute the move, not it. Jaffa here still leading the race, closely followed by BTX. BTX who's not in his DRS. Skeefy now. He's probably been given the opportunity to catch up to BTX, still followed by Storm and Rhythm, who are in that little DRS train. That is then followed by Gergo, Jocelyn, Dame Zero, Liar Racing, Cool Ice Cube, and X-Pilot, who each aren't in anyone's DRS. But Deviant and Kostov are both inside each other's DRS. Walk a bit further back, still followed by Arntzen after his turn 1, 2, 3 collision, I believe, with Rhythm. May have just been Arntzen spinning himself, but I do not have any view of that incident. We are actually going to hop on board with the little battle that is happening between, or for P11, between X-Pilot, Deviant and Kostov. As we see them change their brake balance, but we look at this, Kostov's right all over the back of Deviant, using his overtake, whereas Deviant is using his overtake, as Kostov actually have more overtake to use. Kustov then ends up going down the inside of Deviant. Deviant not wanting to give the position up. This is brilliant balance from a pair of them. No collision from either of them. Kustov having to just give up the position there as Deviant seemed to have the better run, as Deviant is on the medium and compound tyres respective to the hard compound tyres of Kustov there. Kustov on the was classed to be the worst race tyre. The not as good race tyre, that's the correct English there. Jaffa still in this race, very well done from him there. Jocelyn picks up a 3-second time penalty there for multiple warnings. This is probably exceeding track limits, cutting corners and stuff like that, maybe even a little collision with another driver. So that will be added to his ending race time. We'll see if that actually hampers his finishing position or not. Storm's still getting DRS, but not using his overtake button, as he's probably hoping that they don't have to use their overtake button. They have almost dropped Rhythm out of their DRS. Rhythm here has the decision of, do I want to carry on tracking ERS at these two ahead of me, or do I want to just hold off a bit? Still do have the likes of Kustov, Deviant and X-Pilot all having this little battle, as I believe X-Pilot almost got DRS on Cool Ice Cube there, but Deviant's managed to put 9/10 out to the back of Kustov, so a lot of these drivers will just dropping off each other, as all of them trying their best to improve. We'll just see what happens here as Jaffa still leading. I believe that is Aaron Storm. No, they weren't going side by side. For some reason I thought these two were going side by side, but only battle we still got is actually Deviant right up close to the back of X-Pilot. Which, actually no, we have London and Kingberg. We'll hop on board with these two, as these two haven't actually had that much showing so far. We'll see what they can end up doing, as we do have London on 17% ERS, whereas Kingberg is on 40. London using his ERS and DRS. We're going to see if he can get past him. We're going to enter turn 1. Doesn't need to leave the room, as he had already overtaken Kingberg. Kingberg trying to come back in now. We'll see what happens as they come up the hill. Kingberg running a bit wide. That is going to happen on the exit, as you do see on the timing board on your left hand side. The time slowly creep up, as that wasn't the best move. I believe Liar Racing now has Cool Ice Cube at the back, and X-Pilot, who has caught up to the back of Cool Ice Cube now, is DRS as well. Jorkland ended up picking 3-second time penalty up for multiple warnings. He is down there in P17. If this battle continues, Kustov may be able to get DRS as well between all of these drivers. This little train. There are just still miniature battles happening. FRA BXT, our P2 position man in the Alfa Romeo Sauber, that's the correct car. My brain just completely went blank there, okay? No need to say anything about that. But he is our P2 man, still sat there with a 3-second time penalty. That 3-second time penalty will worry him a bit, as we actually see Kingberg get a bit screwed in the exit. That is because he probably used his overtake way too early there. But now using overtake and DRS is actually massively catching up to the back of London now. But if there's a much lighter car or whatever it is, maybe him punching a hole through the air as well. They're getting very close. Cool Ice Cube still got X-Pilot behind him. X-Pilot's been catching up gradually. Something else I want to say is, if I look on the timing board on my left hand side, we see the likes of Skeefy actually pulling in BTX. Don't know if BTX has switched down fuel mixtures maybe to lean, or maybe lower, but we'll end up seeing what they can do. We actually see X-Pilot now. Cool Ice Cube swerving left to right, trying to get X-Pilot out of his DRS or out of his slipstream, but he doesn't need to slipstream. He just opens his rear wing, puts DRS on, and just waves bye-bye to Cool Ice Cube, who has ended up leaving the dust. But now Cool Ice Cube wanting to come back at him. Deviant here still sat inside both their DRSs. Hoping for something easy to happen there. London and Kingberg are still battling there down at the back. Very good battle happening from them too, as I do also see that. Nigelator has Jorkland all over the back, and Jorkland with DRS, ERS swiftly overtakes the AlphaTauri there, as we'll see if Nigelator and his 12 lap hold mediums can end up getting back past Jorkland. We will see. What we can see is actually Deviant there has ended up spinning it as they got the hill. Maybe a bit of dirty air there, as he's hoping not to clip the front of his clip his front wing, as he doesn't actually clip his front wing there. Very well done from him then. As I have just noticed the Mercedes there of Skeefy and the AlphaTauri there of Iran Storm pit. Both these drivers pit onto the hard, it seems like. Yeah, so they'll be going to the end of the race. Going to try the undercut on Jaffa and BTX, and probably stay inside each other's DRS as well. We do also see the likes of Dame Zero come into the pits now as well, to probably switch into the harder compound tyres. We may see him switch into the mediums, try a 2-stop here, as he doesn't have anything to lose at this point. Nope, he is into the hard tyres as well. So this does mean that BTX and Jaffa now need to just drive for their life. Jaffa having the gearbox glitch, which is annoying me. As there is a yellow flag down at turn 1, as it is Iran Storm, I believe, who has ended up spinning it coming out of the pit, and I think that's wing damage to Storm as well. That is wing damage to Storm, who's just come out of the pit on a fresh set of boots. You only get given one set of hard tyre, and this is just the harder compound tyres. Has ended up smashing off his front wing. He's going to be kicking himself after that, as him and Skeefy were both hoping. Switching those sets of tyres, we're both hoping to be with each other's DRS and use that as an advantage to catch up to the likes of Jaffa and BTX. Jaffa pits. Hawk doesn't, as Deviant has actually retired. Jaffa's teammate has ended up crashing, which is massively helping him out now. We'll hop on board with Jork and see if the car wreckage is still there. That is on the outside of, I believe, 1, 2, 3, 4. The outside of turn 4. I don't know what has ended up causing that. No, it's on the inside. He is just seemingly flung off and ended up massive damage. But this is a full course safety car, which does actually help out the likes of Jaffa, Gergo, Rhythm, Skeefy, who's also come into the pits. Skeefy probably going to chuck the mediums on and going to just say, screw it, I can go to the end on these compound tyres. Done my switch over onto a different set of tyres. BTX now has to... They've got to do another lap before... Okay, there you go. So these drivers have to do another lap, go around the circuit. So we'll see what they do. Waiting for Jaffa to be in the chat saying, why safety car? I was having fun driving. The safety car has up to a lot, as I actually am confused why X-Pilot and Kustov were switching to the soft compound tyres. Could have switched up to the hards there and gone to the end, but maybe they believe they can coax those onto the end of the race. Iran Storm now pits for a new front wing as well. He's going to be kicking himself as he's so far down. Arnson here onto the medium and compound tyres. He did actually start on the soft, switch onto the hards, hoping to go to the end, but now switched onto the mediums, using all 3 sets of tyres now. But we do see BTX, will he come into the pits now? He comes into the pits, there you go. He will lose some time, but I don't believe as much as the likes of Skeefy had ended up losing. But the big winners from this safety car is Jaffa, Rhythm, Gergo and Yosin, all who pitted under the safety car. I believe Racing Point did actually double stack under the safety car to chuck both drivers onto the harder compound tyres. But you also now have the likes of Skeefy here on the better compound tyres out of the 2. He's on the mediums. Fresh mediums they are. And he's in a very good position as well. Steven has ended up leaving this session. BTX now exiting the pits. We'll see where he comes out at as the Red Bull gets ahead of him. BTX is still in P2. Brilliantly timed strategies. Rhythm's coming again. Rhythm's chucking the mediums on. Probably not going to like those hard compound tyres. Going to try something different to his teammate of Yosten there. Both AMS boys in the Racing Point there. As Kustov's got past Storm apparently. Don't know if Storm's had a spin on the safety car or something, but apparently Kustov's got past him now. So Jaffa has ended up catching the safety car up. As, ooh, looky here. How many lapped cars are there between Jaffa? There is Lunderland, Kingberger, Nigelator, all who are in the middle of Jaffa and BTX. So it's going to be big, as Gergo is actually on the back of BTX, so BTX has to get past all of these lap cars before he can even think about attacking Jaffa. This has worked out massive favour for Jaffa here. He's just going to be swerving left to right, getting heat into his hard compound tyres. We see everyone is on fresh tyres now. Apart from Dame Zero, who picked a lap earlier and is still on the harder compound tyres. Probably kicking himself a little bit. He didn't extend his stint a lap later, but probably still happy. He's up into P7. Very well done for him there. Iran Storm was in a very good position. Started, I believe, in P2 at that point, and has now slipped back down to P12 after that spin and removal of his front wing on the start of his new stint. Probably annoying himself with that. But they're going to be doing another lap on the safety car while they wait for the rest of it to catch up. Rest of the grid that includes... Let's see who it doesn't actually include. So Liar Racing, X-Pilot, Cool Ice Cube, Custop, Storm, Arnson, Hawk, and Yorkland's Nigelator is actually sat right behind Jaffa there, so those drivers will need to catch up. So another lap on the safety car. Yay! Still waiting for the grid to pull up as they were still very spaced out. Come on, Jorkland, just floor it and try and catch up. But yep, Jaffa's still leading this crew of cars down through the pit straight. Oh, not the pit straight, the back straight. Why did I say pit straight? We have no idea. I think Iran Skeefy's just a spin, as he was up there just in front of Dame Zero in P6, Dame Zero was P7 respectively, and Skeefy's got damage to his front wing. And the safety car's in. Oh, Skeefy is going to be kicking himself now. He has spun, removed most of his front wing, has to pit again. Luckily he will only drop down to P15 as the rest of the cars have been lapped. Jaffa now takes control of the field. No driver wanting to hit each other. We'll see when Jaffa actually accelerates. Jaffa goes. Uses his overtake coming out the final corner and floors it. BTX now needs to get past these drivers as quickly as he can. We do actually see Gergo defending heavily there from Rhythm. We'll see what Rhythm can do here. Rhythm all over the back of him. Does not attempt to make a move into turn 1. Every other driver seems to have stayed in position as we go further back. Here and Skeefy has pitted there. So Skeefy probably be chucking the medium compound tyres on and see if he can go to the end. Dame Zero getting really out of shape there as he comes to that final corner. As we do actually see one of the lapped cars racing him, but we do also have X-Pilot there who I believe has just got past the driver. These lapped cars do need to get out of the way as they are going to be holding up these drivers ahead as they cannot see fully through them. This is going to annoy some people, but Gergo still sat there in P3, Rhythm and Yossen hunting him down, same as the Ferrari here of X-Pilot. Remember, X-Pilot was P20 on the grid. So brilliant race from X-Pilot, whatever he does, or wherever he finishes, as he was dead last on the grid. X-Pilot goes extremely deep, as you actually see. Cool Ice Cube and Custop going below for below between each other as they come up the hill. Neither one wanting to give up, it seems like. Still very close here. As they're going, and they're not going to go side by side anymore. This lapped McLaren is in the way, same as Nigel is there. These drivers are probably getting annoyed at those lapped cars there. But he is getting slipstream off him, which he's going to be thankful for, as that is helping him out massively. FRA BTX still got Gergo all the way back and followed by Rhythm, Yossen, Dame Zero, X-Pilot. All of them still just hunting, same as Lyra Racing, Cool Ice Cube, Custop and Storm. All of them just hunting for these points playing positions. Here and Skeefy, Kingberg and Nigelator Lundgren all probably still hoping they can get further positions, as we do see here and Storm get past the likes of Custop there. Don't know if Custop had an injury, had an incident there, which has hampered him a little bit, but they're still all going strong. 3-second time penalty there for Iran Storm that could actually hamper him at the end of the race. Just remembered, BTX 3-second time penalty. That is going to drop him down to P4 and promote Rhythm up into podium positions. So time penalties are going to be massive towards the end of this race. That's something I can assure you. Yosten Rhythm still battling for position. Cool Ice Cube get past Light Racing as well. This little queue that is forming, we do see Storm get a bit squirrely in the exit. I believe someone else did get squirrely in the exit, but I believe that was a lap car. Yeah, that was Storm with Kustov behind him, and Lundgren still just drifting through Kustov. This must be so off-putting for Kustov here. We do see DRS has now finally been in. So going onto that back straight, these guys will have DRS. we now are onto lap 20, 13 laps left of this race. We'll see which drivers can do what. The likes of Jaffa leading. Gergo has dropped off the back of BTX now. So this could be big for that final. For that final podium position, we do see Storm get past Lyre Racing there as well. Look to be a good overtake, so I do Christoph have to get all off the accelerator there as he didn't want to hit the back of Lyre Racing. As I think these drivers are getting a bit frustrated with that McLaren being sat in the middle of the lap. I think that McLaren is the furthest forward of the lapped cars. No, Kingberg is the furthest forward. But these lapped cars are just confusing the drivers, as we do actually see Hawk. Hawk has smashed into the wall there. That no wing damage from that. Very lucky not to have wing damage in that type of position. But of course, we do see Arnson there get past Christoph as well. Look at this. Both race the racing point of Rhythm right at the back of Gergo. Let's see what he can end up doing in this position. Goes down around the outside, leaves enough space for Gergo, but Gergo doesn't try and put his nose in as he believes. Being on the harder compound tyres here, actually Rhythm's in a much better position, as I remember that Rhythm did pit, and I did say, is that a good decision? Oh, way to prove me wrong, Rhythm, way to prove me wrong. Those mediums have fired up to temperature a lot quicker than anyone else would have expected. So we do see all of the cars now slowly slipping out of each other's DRS front spin. Like usual. We get this amazing helicopter shot of the drivers driving through here. This is on board with Cool Ice Cube, who's just dead in the middle of Storm and Lyre. Not close to one, not close to the other. I believe that actually Gergo right up to the back of Rhythm. Jocelyn all over the back of him as well, so we'll see which one of these three actually gets that final. In position, Arnson there, back up into the point after that incident he did have, got past Lyre Racing. So Iran, Storm and Arnson both on a tear, trying to see who gets further forward. Hawk has had a spin that's probably going to let him into the jaws of Skiffy. Skiffy is going to want to try and catch him up as much as he can. Arnson's catch up the back of Cool Ice Cube as well, so these drivers all wanting to catch up to the back of them. Storm here on a tear as he gets up to P8 now after having that spin under the safety car, damaged his front wing and now have to pit again, but one of these mediums seem to have fired them up, catching the likes of NRC X-Pilot, who is on Bjorn softs now. 11 laps left. I think X-Pilot will need to pit off these softs as there is another yellow flag. That is Hawk. Hawk, another 360. Lunderland has actually left the session. Lunderland down there in P17, so he's going to drop considerably further back as the AI is not actually that high. As for some reason Lunderland's AI is using ERS. BTX there picks up another 3-second time penalty. That is going to be big coming to the end of this race. Any time penalty here could hamper drivers in big ways or small ways. We'll actually see what happens. Justin catch up to the back of Gergo yet again. Gergo still catch up to the back of Rhythm. These drivers are just sat in this little loop. None of them can get past each other. We may actually see the likes of Iran Storm get past X-Pilot this lap, as I believe X-Pilot's tyres will be screaming to him soon to get them changed, maybe for a new set of softs or a new set of tyres. We do actually have another yellow flag brought out by Hawk again. Hawk doing another 360 pirouette. Still kept his front wing. X-Pilot now going onto the pit straight, Storm all over the back of him. Dame Zero up ahead, not wanting to give any slipstream to X-Pilot's in there, but X-Pilot has actually managed to get slipstream off of him. We got another yellow flag brought out by Hawk again, spinning again, as we actually see Jocelyn get past Gergo. Jocelyn has finally got past the likes of Gergo, so both racing points ahead of the Ferrari driver. It's very good for both of them. We actually have Jocelyn on a 3-second time penalty, I believe, as well. He wants to catch up to the back as another yellow flag brought out by Hawk. Hawk yet again has managed to hit the same wall. Hawk, your tyres must be baked. As he may actually end up giving BTX slipstream here, as that could be bad, but we don't know. So we do go further forward with the drivers. We do still have Gergo all over the back of him. We do also have Iran Storm all over the back of Dame Zero there as well. But X-Pilot sat right back there waiting as well. Christoph still close to the back of Yorkland. Gustav drivers also goes to the back of him. Gustav finally gets past his teammate of London, who is in AI, due to the fact of him lagging out the session. As we do see Storm drops a bit further back off. Oh, Gerger got past Justin, sorry to cut myself off there. But Storm getting close to the back of Dame Zero, but not close enough to make a move. Surprisingly, he was really close to the back of him. But this battle we have further back, we have the likes of Jorkland looking to make a move onto Laya racing up ahead, but does not have the certain speed to do that. Skeefy now wanting to just throw his car as fast as he can as Hawk's retired. Hawk has crashed going into turn 1. That has brought out a full safety car. Hawk has managed to crash again, and that's brought out a full safety car. He's on the outside there as he's done hit the barrier and done a full 360. So these front few drivers now, King Burger. Oh, King Burger there with a drive-through penalty after speeding under a safety car. He's going to be annoyed with himself there. But now Jaffa's hard-earned gap has been brought back. This is big for BTX, so he does have 6 seconds, I believe, of time penalties. And with Rhythm, Gergo, Jocelyn, Damesir all them being so far back, this could happen massively, but Kustov and X-Pilot will now have the chance to switch off of those tyres that have been worn out. We'll end up seeing what they can do with these new set of tyres that they'll get given. If they do pit off these soft compound tyres, that is. As BTX, Rhythm, Gergo will pit. Hawk has left the session now. That's very surprising that those drivers pit. The likes of Dame Zero actually pit as well, same as X-Pilot. So a lot of drivers actually chucking the soft compound tyres on, hoping that they can take these softs 8 laps. It looks to be, but we don't actually know. So, Jaffa leads, Jocelyn P2, Storm P3, then BTX, who's come out on a new set of softs. Cool Ice Cube sits P5, Rhythm on a new set of softs, P6, Gergo new set of softs. Then it's Dame Pilot, yeah. Dame Zero, X-Pilot on soft as well, and then Answer on sets of softs, everyone else pits. So, have Jaffa, Jocelyn, Storm, and Cool Ice Cube made a brave call here? Or have they risked it? Because this risk they've done, we honestly don't know. This risk could work off with them being on those tyres, just managing to hold out for the next 8 laps, or these softs, which are going to be so much more grippy around this Spanish circuit, could just grip so much better. Safety car will not be in this lap, it will probably go around for another lap, meaning these softs won't actually be that one under the safety car. As they don't need to push them, they can keep them basically as a new set of fresh boots, but we'll end up seeing what they do. Yeah, we have Jaffa still leading from Jocelyn, Storm, BTX, Cool Ice Cube, Rhythm, Gergo, Dame Zero, who's managed to get past one of the AI. I don't know if he was told to give position back there, as yes, he probably has, to Lunderland, who is fully disconnected from the lobby. Very nice, is then X-Pilot's behind him, but has the lapped car of King Burger ahead of him. Dame's NRC Anson just sat right behind those two as well. Yep, everyone's managed to catch up. That includes the Mercedes there of Skeefy, who's catch up to the back of them now. So we'll probably be able to go lights out and racing again. Jordan's picking up a time penalty under the safety car for multiple warnings. Well done. Yep, safety car is in this lap, so Jaffa's turned into the pace car now. He will set the pace for these cars up until it goes green, as I do actually see on the circuit where the little green line is. As soon as they pass that safety car line, overtaking is enabled, and these drivers can go. Jaffa here though going to want to back them up as much as he can and not give anyone an idea of when he's going as he goes. So Jocelyn's going to try and stay as close as he can with the orange storm. This guy's going to not want to give anything to the back of anyone else. But look at that. X-Pilot has been massively caught out by Dame Zero. Answer massively caught out as well. So Dame Zero on the softs has actually got a very good jump here on those cars ahead of him. Jocelyn still leads, but you do see these. Look at these softs working so well for the like of BTX, who has managed to put himself back up into podium positions. He's going to do two moves in the same sector. No, he's not. Just going to sit at the back as Rhythm also gets past Cool Ice Cube there. So those one mediums are not working a treat there for him. BTX it up into P2. BTX has just dispatched two cars very quickly. Orange Storm has dropped as well. Rhythm has dropped. Cool Ice Cube has managed to get back past Gergos. That is end plate damage. I believe that is an end plate. Dame Zero there that has just gone flying off of his car. That is going to play him into the jaws of X-Pilot. He's going to want to go past. Dame Zero runs really wide there with that damaged end plate. Cannot keep it flat. Don't know if he did realise that was damage to his end plate there as well. He's going to be frustrated with himself now. But what I'm going to want to pay attention to is the fact that BTX right up to the back of Jaffa. BTX has no ERS now. Or no ERS you can put this lap, whereas Jaffa does. So Jaffa's going to have a much better exit of this corner, but then straight line speed wise, BTX is going to be much better, and cornering he's going to be much better as BTX's fastest lap of the session so far. Dame Zero gets a 10-second time penalty for corner cutting. That is going to do some major damage to his front wing. As he goes flying into the pits, this may be a retirement from him now. We'll end up seeing in a couple of seconds. Yes, it is. That wing damage has just frustrated him. Kingberger also comes into the pits, then that'll be a retirement as well. But BTX closing all the way up to the back of Jaffa as Jocelyn still has Dame Zero and Rhythm all over the back of him now. X-Pilot ends up getting past Cool Ice Cube. Dame Zero has ended up leading the session as well. What I'm seeing what these drivers can do is a couple of them do get squirrely out of that final corner. Kingberger has also retired in the pit lane, meaning we are left with 15 drivers left in the session. I'm trying to figure out how many retired them. I've got this on the left hand side of my screen. BTX now, look how close he is to the back of Jaffa. He still does not have DRS yet. DRS will be enabled at the end of this lap. But on these softs, he's so close to the back of Jaffa, pressuring him so much. Keep pushing him, so we do actually have Ear on Skeefy. Skeefy has crashed. On the inside, has brought out another full safety car. That is on the inside of the DRS straight, probably got onto the ground, some gravel a bit, and has just lost the rear end, snapped and slammed into the wall. This safety car has now thrown another spanner in the works of Jaffa, Jocelyn, and Storm. All who are staying out on their hard and medium compact tyres, they will have to survive 3 laps. I don't know. There's one thing that I don't understand right now. Will DRS be re-enabled? The grid's really close together right now, meaning with how close it is, these drivers can just sit, and with the grid still being spaced out, as we see Nigel Data and Jorkland pit, safety car could be out for 2 to 3 laps. If it's out for 2 laps, that puts it to lap 31. There will then be lap 31, lap 32, and final lap DRS will be enabled. If the safety goes out for 3 laps, there will be no more DRS for this race, meaning it's going to be a straight line speed battle between BTX, Jocelyn, Jaffa, Storm, Rhythm, Gergo, Cool Ice Cube, you get the picture. All of these drivers are going to be battling if there is no more DRS at the end of this race. I don't know, some of these drivers are going to be frustrated with their DNFs. Just not going to be happy with how they've ended up crashing such and such. But safety car is not in this lap. as the drivers have only just caught up, so at the end of this next lap will be the end. There's collisions here between X-Pilot and Cool Ice Cube. Cool Ice Cube's got a 5-second time penalty there for a severe collision with X-Pilot. Sorry, I wasn't paying attention to that then. We're going to see if safety car is actually in this lap. Don't know what that 5-second time that was for Cool Ice Cube and X-Pilot safety car. There you go. Confirmation safety car in this lap, so it will be lap 31 when they go racing again. Meaning they have lap 31, lap 32 and lap 33 to push their cars to the limit. As Cool Ice Cube has ended up passing X-Pilot, I think these two don't have the best relationship going on at the minute, as there was a 5-second time penalty for collision between the two. As I did see and hear some knocking through the cars. So we do have the likes of Jaffa, still followed by BTX. Jaffa goes. There you go, Jaffa goes, BTX tries to follow as best he can. Jocelyn tries to follow as well. These drivers are all going to want to follow as quickly as they can and hope they don't give up DRS or anything. As we do see Storm all over the back of Jocelyn here, fighting for that final podium position, but that 6-second time penalty here. Jaffa could in theory let BTX go and just sit behind him. Is BTX 2 seconds quicker every lap, as we do see Cool Ice Cube and NRC Arnson battling here. Arnson ends up getting past Cool Ice Cube, very well done from him there. Good overtake, good clean overtake. X-Pilot has ended up picking a 3-second time penalty up for multiple warnings as well there. Rhythm and Gergo in very good positions here actually, as we do see Rhythm's teammate X-Pilot get squared on the rear end there, up the hill. But we see how close BTX is to the back of Jaffa. That has got to be agonisingly close. Three-second timer there for Christoph as well. Christoph has dropped down 3 positions there, I believe has had a spin. A 3-second time penalty there, as well as Nigelator has ended up spinning his car. I believe he does still have both end plates. He does not. He is missing his right hand end plate, sat down there in 14th. Pitting now isn't really the worst thing for him there, as he's not really going to lose any positions. We do still see Jaffa lead. BTX has dropped back now. Jocelyn is now going to be all over the back of BTX. Going to be hoping that he can push his car further forward, as that 3-second time penalty could hamper him. But yet again, Rhythm setting a brilliant position here. We do still have Jaffa leading, BTX still sat second, Jocelyn still sat third, BTX. With those time penalties, it's going to be so disheartening from there, picking up those 2-3-second time penalties, but he's just going to try his very best to pull out as big of a gap as he can to the drivers behind him. We do still have the likes of Arnson after that collision, being down P15, is now up to P8, brilliant recovery drive from there. But still to give hats off to X-Pilot. Started P20, has put his car into P7, still doing very well for himself here. Has the opportunity to try and get past Gergo, but do see BTX a fast lap. BTX is just hunting them down. He is just... He smells blood in the water and he is not giving up. He is going. Nigel trying to pick the 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. He is still going. Very well done to him there, being a lap down and just still going. Hats off to him, as most drivers would have DNF'd once they had been lapped, but still going very admirable. As we do see Jaffa, massive lock up there and massive... So many drivers in the lock up there on their warm tyres, just trying to keep the cars behind them. This is the last lap. Jaffa now. So the final time he can up the hill into this right-hand corner. We'll see what he can end up doing. Yellow flag in sector 2. That is Lunderland, who has had a Kustov, who has had a 360 spin. Lunderland is also dropping back off his fellow compatriot he was racing with then. Jaffa now coming up this bit of the circuit for the last time through the tricky left right-hander. Has dealt brilliantly with the massive amount of pressure put on him today from other drivers, including those 3 safety cars. Keeping the hard compound tyres on, where he could have easily switched to the soft compounds and just driven as well. Lyra racing a 3-second time penalty, but Jaffa, after a brilliant drive and missing last week, comes across the line to win the Spanish Grand Prix, followed there by BTX, who's dropping down Jocelyn, who drops P2 as Rhythm takes P2, followed closely by Gergo. Jocelyn drops down to P4, then it's Ian Storm, Arnson, BTX with those time penalties has dropped into P7. That's very unlucky from there. X-Pilot into P8, Lyra racing there P9. Jorkland into P10, Cool Ice Cube there drops down to P11, followed by Kustov in P12, London on a lap down in P13, and Nigel will be the last car to cross the line. We'll hop on board with them for the last part of this lap. See what he can end up doing. As he comes up the hill, bit off the accelerator there where he could take a full out, probably not as confident on this last few laps, just wanted to nurse the car home and not DNF. So he now comes through this left-hander, runs it nice on the curbs, and now it's put to the floor. To cross the line as the last car to finish P14, admirable drive from him there as well. But I know who is going to get drive for today. More than likely X-Pilot here. Wait for it. Ta-da. Very well driven from X-Pilot today, who'd probably be my driver of the day as well. Brilliant drive from being last with that quali band to put his car up into, I believe, P8 at the end of the race, which is brilliant driving from there. As we now do have all 3 drivers will now appear on the podium of Jaffa, Rhythm and Gergo. Note, Jaffa, Jocelyn and Gergo. One of the Racing Point drivers cannot remember which one. They confuse me week in, week out. You can ask them themselves, I've got them confused in so many messages before, but brilliant drive from the 3 drivers there. Jaffa's in, GG in the chat, very well driven from everyone. Safety cars at the end threw up an exciting race right towards the end of the race. As I think the drivers could even say it was a bit stressful towards the end with tyres. Do you switch, do you not? What do you do? But we will now get confirmation of the top 3. It was Rhythm. Jocelyn dropped down to P4 sadly with those 3-second time penalties. But where is BTX? BTX ended up having, I believe, 6 seconds of time penalty to start P4. But we have Jaffa P1, Rhythm P2, Gergo, Jocelyn, Storm, Arnson, BTX, X-Pilot, Lyra Racing, Jorkland, Cool Ice Cube, Kustov, Lunderland, Nigelator, Skifeed, Dame Zero, Kingberger, Hawk, Deviant, Stembacken. Very well driven from all drivers today. And we will see you next week for the Monaco Grand Prix. I have been Headhunter, your commentator tonight. And thank you.